What's up everyone, Tony here, and this is it. For real this time. It's the grand finale, the ending to the epilogue, the final main story mission. It's part 89 of my first-person HUD-less Red Dead Redemption 2 walkthrough, and boy do I have a lot to say for this one. So let's get right into it. Today, John Marston finally makes his way up to the top of the mountain. We avenge Arthur Morgan and take Micah down. This is American Venom. Alright everyone, it is finally time to wrap this thing up for real this time. We had the end of the main story in chapter 6, but this is the end of the epilogue. It's the real end. It's the end of the end of the end. This is it. This is the final mission in Red Dead Redemption 2. American Venom. Ooh, it is a doozy. With American Venom, we have basically two bombastic, crazy endings in one game. Which one's better? I don't even know if I could decide, because they're both done so ridiculously well. They both have such amazing moments and amazing just everything about them. It's just, they're so well done. I'll try to get into it. Again, like the final mission in chapter 6, I have about 7 pages of notes for this one. It ended up being about the same, 7 pages of notes, because these final missions bring out a lot in me, you know? One thing I want to say before we get started is that, to me, the greatness of this mission can only truly be appreciated if you take into consideration everything that's come before and everything that is coming after. Okay, so what I mean by that is this mission is not as great as it is without knowing, or without having experienced all of Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously, and the whole Arthur Morgan story, obviously, but also this epilogue, right? This epilogue has mostly been the player adjusting to life as John Marston, right? We're kind of doing these very cute, low-key, low-stakes missions. There's been some shooting here and there, but a lot of them have been simple. Farming, taking your son to go fishing, you go on a date with your wife, that type of thing. You're building a house, of course. Almost to the point where we're starting to kind of forget about the whole Arthur Morgan story and all the craziness that was going on there with the gang. Well, then American Venom comes in and rips you back in. It's like, whoa. Do not forget about everything that Arthur went through. We need to avenge this man. We need to avenge Arthur Morgan. And this is where we're going to do it, okay? Put the damn pitchfork down or whatever. You could fish with your son later. We need to avenge our fallen brother. And that's what this mission is. It rips you back into that main Red Dead Redemption 2 story with a freaking vengeance, okay? And of course, a lot of the oomph of this mission has a lot to do with knowing what's coming. If you've played Red Dead Redemption 1, you know what's coming, and you know what John will be going through, and the characters that show up in this mission, it adds a lot to the, knowing what happens in Red Dead Redemption 1, this mission hits you hard as well. But enough talking. We need to get into this right now. Again, I'm going to try to hit on all my notes here. It's going to be impossible. Too much happens too quickly in this, but I'll give it my best shot. We need to speak to Abigail. Darling, it's time to get this started. Son?
I love it. I truly love it. Abigail, dear, what's for dinner?
What's for dinner? Away with you, you no good parasite.
What's for dinner, he says.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
John, come out here.
That's Charles. Charles does not sound,
Hey, John.
I think Charles knows something's about to go down. Sadie's here.
I found Micah.
She found him.
I got a lead. One of his boys wanted for murdering a woman. Been seen drinking in Strawberry. If we can get to him, He'll lead us to Micah. But I gotta go now. You coming?
No,
Yeah, I'm coming.
he's not coming.
I will.
That's your business. His business is here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll ride with you.
No, I'm...
Sorry, wife. There was one exception. We established this.
You risk all this?
Yes.
For what? For Micah?
Yes.
All this wouldn't exist if it weren't for Arthur, Sadie, and all the folks as fell. If I let him go, this place ain't no more real than one of Jack's dragons.
I'm begging you.
He's absolutely right.
And you to understand. This is it. This is.
Please.
Please try to.
There's only one way this ends, Abigail.
I ain't got no other choice.
Sorry, dear.
Keep an eye on the place for me.
Of course.
He's the final boss. We need to take his ass out.
Let's go kill this son of a bitch then.
There you go. Let's ride. The homies. Together.
Come on.
The true three homies of Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur has fallen, or else it would have been 4.
Which one of my
But John,
boys is it?
Sadie, Charles.
Cleet, the big
Man.
one, the little one.
The one with the rat face.
How could you not love these three by the end of this game?
The little bastard with the rat face.
They did such an awesome job introducing us to Sadie, Charles, and obviously Arthur. Completely new characters.
Revenge.
No holdovers from Red Dead Redemption 1, right? These are new characters, and you care about them so damn much by this point, and it feels so right and so good to, you know, ride out with these two and avenge Arthur's death and take that bastard Micah out.
Ain't that right, John?
Seems that way.
You interested in bounty hunting, Charles? My last assistant was put out
Hey.
to pasture.
Charles builds a mighty fine house.
I think I might
And now this little horse ride here.
go north.
There you go.
Canada.
Canada. Hey. Hey, Charles knows.
See how that life. Well,
So this is Rockstar kind of covering their ass, trying to... Oop, we gotta go this way.
In the family book.
Oh god, my horse. No! This is so unepic. Wait for me. God. Anyways, as I was saying, sorry, I had a little technical glitch there.
Where were we?
I thought we
This
were
is
inspired.
Rockstar covering their ass because Sadie and Charles
I've been thinking I might get out
are never to be seen again in the next game.
South America, maybe?
So right in this little ride here, they established
I
like,
guess.
yeah, I'm going to Canada. Oh, how about you, Sadie? Yeah, I'm going to South America.
Handsome revolution.
There you go.
I don't know.
It's all the explanation I need.
See something else at least.
That
But hey,
all
you know what?
sounds good.
Yeah, it all sounds
I don't mind it. They were gonna have to introduce new characters in this game anyways. Either they go out of the country or they die. What would you rather have? I'd rather they leave the country, so I could just pretend when I replay Red Dead Redemption 1. It's like, yeah, Sadie's out there somewhere. I wonder what she's up to. I'm sure Charles has a nice family. I wonder what they're up to.
Okay.
But it's all good.
You take the other
That's
side.
not the important thing. The important thing is right now,
In the middle?
this mission freaking kicks ass.
if he's here, we'll get him.
But first we need to find
Let's go.
Micah's lame-ass buddies. Where are you, Cleet? Where are ya?
There. Cleet!
There he is.
Hey, Cleet! Been a while.
Yeah, you better run, boy.
Stop that man! He's wanted for murder!
He's wanted for murder. So you run.
Can't escape us, Cleet!
You run.
Ain't no point in trying.
I think he went this way. I think there he is.
Where you running to?
Where you going, bud? Hey, slow down, buddy. We gotta talk to you. Hey, we gotta talk to you. Hey, there you go. Oh.
Remember us? Joe, you gonna take a turn?
Sure.
We're all buddies, ain't we?
Sure, Sadie. With pleasure.
Hey. Hey, Cleet.
Now,
Boom.
where's Micah?
Where is he?
I ain't seen. No.
Where is he?
Speak.
Stop.
Micah!
We're killing Micah
Where's Micah?
right now.
I ain't seen him. We fell out.
You know what? I'm bored of this. Let's hang the bastard.
Yeah,
Good idea.
I think that's the only logical next step.
Bring him up to the gallows.
I got him. First person, you can't even see him.
Don't dig your heels in.
Well, I'm dragging him. You're gonna have to use your imagination. Go.
Lady. Get up there.
Go.
Keep moving.
Get. Go on. Go on. Go.
Move.
Come here, you bastard. Move it. Come on, move. Here, I want you stood right here.
Sadie takes no prisoners.
All right, string the no-good murdering bastard up.
Will do. Tie noose.
Let's try this again. Where's Mike?
Now this is pretty good. Okay, you gotta thread in with the lever.
Where's Mike?
I already told you I ain't seen him.
You lie.
It ain't my fault. He tried to kill me.
Where's Micah?
Talk, or I'll pull this lever.
Talk.
Oh,
So you play with it. You play with it.
He's up in the mountains.
Up in the mountains.
I think it's
Oh really?
Mount Hagen.
Mount Hagen.
He got a whole gang now.
Okay.
Bad man. Doing bad things. I tried to stop him from murdering that little girl. We fell out.
Sorry.
Honest.
He's gonna have to pay for that. And you're gonna have to pay for that too.
A good guy.
hang him.
No.
Hang him.
No need.
You know what, Sadie? I'm a father. I don't know if I could be doing this. I'm gonna have to spare him.
Can't do it, Sadie.
Sorry, Sadie.
Not like this.
I'm a husband. I'm a father.
Thank you, John. No. Come on now. You won't ever see me again.
Yeah, get out of here.
Said hang him.
Get out of here.
As you wish.
I think it's way funnier that way. Sadie just destroying him.
A little rat said Mount Hagen.
Mount Hagen. Up to Mount Hagen we gotta go then.
Okay.
It's a long ride. Let's finish this.
Okay.
We're coming for you.
So up we go. Now this is awesome. And I'm gonna tell you why. The beginning of this game, if you recall, where did it take place? Up in the snowy mountains. What were we doing? Saving John, who almost got mauled to death by wolves, right? That's how he gets the scars. Now how does the game end? Of course, we're back up in the mountains. Back up in the snowy mountains. It's poetry, my friends. It's poetry. It's all done on purpose.
This pass will take us
Except this time, instead of being the hunted, right? Obviously, at the beginning of the game, John is the vulnerable one. Let me get my guns ready before I forget. Carbine repeater, and we need a rifle as well. Okay. And my revolvers, of course. We're gonna go off with the revolvers. Boom. Damn, so Charles is hit. And someone else got hit. Sadie's horse died. I've never seen that before. Is there anything you could even do about that? Anyways, it doesn't really send us back at all, so that's fine, but that's bizarre. Like, how could you possibly stop Sadie's horse from dying? Oh god, not the lasso. But yeah, we start the game. John is the hunted. Up in the snowy mountains. Now we return back to his place of trauma, right? And he does the hunting. Now he's the one. Okay, let's go. He's the one doing the hunting, right? It's awesome. It's awesome. He returns back to the place we all started. So that's obviously done on purpose. But now we need to focus because there's a guy. Oh god. So now we need to be careful because we need to get close. I'm pretty sure the sniper is like a one-hit kill. So we need to get up close. And Sadie has to get up close as well. It's definitely a little weird. You have to like wait for her to move, right? And you can't just shoot him, I think. You have to like wait for your opening, and you have to wait to get close enough. Yeah, you have. It's very specific. You have to move close to him, and now I think we're close to him enough to actually shoot him. Yeah, there you go. So you could shoot at him before that, right? Like I've shot enemies from further distances than that, but for in this mission specifically, you need to move to that rock specifically to actually shoot him, or else he's like invincible. Like, it's kind of stupid, but it's cinematic. It has to be that way. So anyways, Charles gets hit here, and I'm thinking, are they gonna kill Charles? That would suck.
I don't want to leave him.
Yeah. Are they gonna kill Sadie? Right? I'm starting to go in my head like, it would suck, but it would kind of make sense if Micah takes everyone out that you love, right? He kills Arthur, he kills Charles, he kills Sadie, and you have to deal with that. That would be like the ultimate way of ending this game, right? Really, if you think about it. We'll see what happens. But that would make sense, right? And then, of course, that would explain not seeing them in Red Dead Redemption 1, right? But for now, we need to make our way up this mountain that has caused John Marston so much pain in this game. And, we need to take control. We're a man now. Last time we were here, we were but a boy. Now, Mr. Marston is a man, a father. He's married. It's beautiful. Beautiful storytelling. One, two. Die. Might as well use all our healing stuff now, because we're not going to be saving it. Okay.
Hair's getting thin. Let's do this.
Air's getting thin. It's hard to move through all this damn snow. But we are approaching the top of the mountain. And we are about to get to one of the most epic moments in this entire damn game that is full of epic moments. But this is ridiculous what we're about to see. I eat? It doesn't look like he actually could eat them. Which is interesting. Hey, look at that. It's not letting me take, Oh god. Why did you take that out? Maybe you can't use that many healing items in this mission. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, scripted, cinematic stuff going on here, so I wouldn't be surprised. Oh!
Get your hands off her.
Okay. So here it is. Here's where things turn around and get crazy. Boom. She gets frickin' stabbed, but there he is. The homie. The homie making the final ultimate homie move. Saving Sadie's ass.
You don't look too fine.
But yeah, I'm definitely sitting here my first time through going, are they gonna frickin' kill Sadie and Charles? Oh my god, that would be so awful. That would be so sad. But here it is. This is the moment, okay? I need to let the music speak for itself because it's special. But this is it. John is heading to the top of the mountain, and he's doing it all alone.
Stay with her.
He was vulnerable before and needed to be saved. Now he's doing the saving. And the music. Oh.
Just you left, is it?
Yeah. Just me.
Wait for it.
I ain't here for just Micah. So get out of my way and make it quick.
You ain't getting any further than right here.
Oh, really?
I was...
Oh, God. That was weird. Why'd he turn around? Here it is, everybody.
We gotta be close.
Oh, boy.
Come on here.
The Red Dead revolver. Boom, boom. I should use my rifle, though. As cool as the revolver is. Maybe one day I'll do this mission just with the revolver. That would be badass. But here it is, everybody. The ultimate moment. And it's all... This music is everything. No, they're not letting me use healing items. Weird. This music is everything. The oh, don't kill me. The American Venom music. No, nothing. Not even corned beef. Oh god. He's heading to the mountaintop. It is the whole epilogue in a nutshell. Right? He's heading to the mountaintop and no one's gonna stop him. This is tough though. For obvious reasons, the final mission in the game, there is some tough shooting you need to do with limited resources. Let me head up the mountain. Get to the mountaintop, John. No help. To face the killer. His father. His metaphorical father. He must avenge. Alright, so now here's Micah's little gang area, I guess. He's obviously made his own gang since the events of Chapter 6. Okay. You will die by my hand. There's a lot of them here. Oh god. Almost there. Nope. That guy. And now we just head over here. And there's Micah's spot. It's me, John Marston. I've come to kill you. As epic-ass music plays in the background. I've come to hunt you down. Now get out and show your face.
Micah, if you're here, come out.
There's a rat. There's a rat there. They did that on purpose.
Did you miss me?
Not much.
Been a few years.
Here it is.
How's that,
The final showdown.
whore of yours?
She's good. Didn't reckon I should waste my time killing you. But I felt different.
So it seems. Well, maybe after all
is
this
badass.
is over, I'll go pay her a call. And the boy.
And Mike is doing all his mind games.
Whatever you say.
And John Marston's like, you do not faze me, you loser. I'm gonna kill you now. And that's it.
You should run away.
I look forward to meeting them.
Now, I'm pretty sure you could just wait this part out. Yeah, you're just kind of like having this weird scripted showdown And you just kind of shoot towards him, whatever, until he gets to that shack there. And then, yeah, just mess with him. Mess with him a little bit until this cutscene starts. And then Sadie shows up. She's not dead.
Die like a man.
Shoot him!
Hellfire. It's just like old times.
Come on. You turn around.
Shoot him, Sadie. I'm watching this going, she's gonna bleed out. No!
You got me. Just like old times. Hmm? All manner of folk paying social calls.
And then,
Hello, son.
look who it is.
Mrs. Adler.
The real son of a bitch behind this whole trouble. Dutch Vanderlinde. I guess he was by Micah's side that whole time. All those years.
Now, what were you saying?
And here it is. The epic standoff.
What are you doing here, Dutch? Same as you.
Micah, Dutch, John.
Dutch and I are teaming up once more. We got money. We got dreams.
And we got this long conversation going on between all three.
Join us.
Let her go.
Now I can't do that, John.
Dutch. Dutch, come on now.
You shot at me, son.
You started. You betrayed me. I could say the same.
Dutch looks like he hasn't showered or shaved in 8 years.
Do my best. You?
He has reached his lowest point. For sure. That's for sure done on purpose.
Join us. Join us, John.
One of us. One of us. Not gonna happen.
Let her go.
Sorry.
She ain't
I got a family now.
I don't want to kill you, John.
Arthur saved my life. More than once.
Arthur's been dead a long time. This is a new century.
People don't forget.
Dutch. Dutch. We all did our best for you. Ain't our fault. Things turned out the way they did. Dutch, killing me won't solve.
See how long this goes? It's the most
Gun, Marston.
epic frickin'
Say something, Dutch.
Western standoff
Say
ever.
something.
I ain't got too much to say no more.
And there it is. Dutch makes his decision. Could have come in handy 8 years earlier, but
You shot me pretty good.
while we're at it, Micah. You son of a bitch! Die! Whew.
Thank you.
And clearly Dutch, even after that, no friend of Mr. Marston. And he walks off to do God knows what
You okay?
for the next couple of years.
You're crazy.
I hope so.
But boy, was that dead eye on Micah the most satisfying freaking thing you could do to end this.
Lots of
That's the final action by the player in the main story right there. So I could put the controller down now. But man,
I want to go to.
I got a wedding I want to go to. I was like, what wedding? And then I'm like, ah, John and Abigail. Oh, you clever girl. Clever girl, that's Sadie. Stitch that thing up and get ready for the wedding. Come on, she has to live. We got the money. I think it's like $20,000, so you could just spend on the post game. But wait, listen to the music first. epic American Venom victory theme. I love it. It's perfect. I have goosebumps. This mission is perfect. What an ending. This music's timeless. Some of the best quote-unquote final boss music, I'd say, ever in a game.
It's over, Abigail.
And that's some high praise because there's some good company there.
It's all over.
Here it is. It's all over. Sadie's good. She's just bleeding a little. It's just a cut. He hugs his wife. Hugs the boy. They head into Beecher's Hope. And that's it. The Hausers bow down to the gods. The Hauser brothers. Their finest work. Debatable. I think there's a pretty good shot at that. And that's it, everybody. Here it is. So now the credits begin, and obviously there's some long ass credits. This is the biggest video game ever. Most expensive game ever. One of the biggest staffs ever. So of course the credits are going to be absolutely gigantic. Of course, that ending is happy. Okay, now so we actually see John and Abigail's marriage here. Uncle Charles, Sadie, and Jack, the only ones who attend. But it's really cute. It's nice, right? This song is called, what is it, Red? I have some notes here as well. Yes, Red by Daniel Lanois, I believe his name is. And this whole credit sequence is awesome. We get a bunch of like vocal songs that make up the game's soundtrack, as well as these little clips of what happens after the story ends, right? Like what happens to certain characters, where they are, what they're up to, that type of thing. Now, in the interest of time, these credits do go about 30 to 40 minutes long, I believe. So I will be editing this down a little bit just because we'd be sitting here forever just watching the credits, and I don't have enough to say to fill up all that time. But I'll be providing my commentary over little clips that come up that are of, you know, importance. So, yeah. So right here we have a cover of Cruel, Cruel World. A different version. Not the Willie Nelson Cruel World, which I love. But this one's good too. I like it. It's also on the soundtrack. So we see the wedding. And I love how Sadie's like, oh, my stab wound. It hurts to dance. You see her like grimacing in the background all the time. Is really funny. And also like, go to a doctor, lady. See a doctor, Sadie. Get that thing fixed up. So here we are. So here we see the scene of the end of the game here. Micah's corpse. And there's Edgar Ross. Now, if you've played Red Dead Redemption 1, of course you know who Edgar Ross is. And really, it's these little scenes in the credits here that really makes the ending very bittersweet. Okay? If we're looking at it strictly as a self-contained story of Red Dead Redemption 2, you know, Arthur dies, which is sad, but then John avenges him and lives happily ever after. Well, if you take Red Dead Redemption 1 into consideration, which is obviously the intent of some of these post-credit scenes here, they're bringing up Edgar Ross, which is the man who kills John Marston. He kidnaps Abigail and Jack at the beginning of Red Dead Redemption 1, and that leads to the events of that game, right? They go hunting down all of the members of the Vanderlyn gang. So these scenes with Edgar Ross really play with your, emotions here, because it's supposed to be a happy ending, but it's bittersweet, right? And, as someone who loves and adores Red Dead Redemption 1, we see here Charles saying his goodbyes, right? Never to be seen again. Says goodbye. Says goodbye. See you later, buddy. But yeah, as someone who loves Red Dead Redemption 1, a lot of these later missions were hitting me, and they felt very bittersweet, because you know what's coming with John, right? So it's bittersweet, but now they're hitting you over the head with it in these credits. Like, there's Edgar Ross, the guy responsible for John's death, and the guy responsible for all the crap that goes down in Red Dead Redemption 1, right? So, very bittersweet. And now this wonderful song. I love this song. This is Mountain Hymn. Another song performed at the Game Awards. This is beautiful. This is some beautiful music in this game. There's Rufus. He's good. He's good to go. But yeah, this song is just it's so beautiful, man. It's like, I think it's definitely, it summarizes the ending of the game, right? It says, like, now you can rest, right? Very much, I think, referring to, like, Arthur, right? He could finally rest, having, with Micah now dead, right? So, comes full circle there. Okay, so now this is interesting, right? Even though there's no words, it's clear that Ross is visiting all the locales from the game's story, right? They're in Valentine, they're at a bar, and it's pretty clear that the implication there is they're going around asking about any, maybe suspicious characters or what. Basically, they're trying to find out more about John Marston. Obviously, that's the intent, right? But I think the idea is they went to where Micah died, and somehow the fact that they left his body just laying there, has led Edgar Ross to, use his detective skills, I guess, to somehow track down John Marston, member of the wanted Van der Linde gang, right? So, to make things even more bittersweet, it seems like by going and getting revenge on Micah and avenging Arthur's death, in a way that was actually the end of John, like, that was John Marston sealing his fate. Because by doing that, Edgar Ross is able to track him down, leads to Red Dead Redemption 1, and then he's killed, right? So when you think of it that way, it's pretty crazy what they're telling us just through these credits, these little quick clips in the credits. It's like, damn. Hey, Miss Tilly. She's living the life in Saint Denis, it looks like. It's not quite the happy ending. It's not quite the happy ending, kids. The Marstons don't quite live happily ever after on their ranch, on Beecher's Hope. But I think that's the sign of a good prequel. I think the story of this game stands so incredibly well as its own standalone story. You could just play this game on its own without ever knowing a thing about Red Dead Redemption 1. And it's great. It's well told. The characters are relatable. They're realistic. They're deep. The good guys, the bad guys, right? But then, like any good prequel should be, if you know what takes place in that next story, if you come in with the knowledge from Red Dead Redemption 1, it makes everything even better. It enhances everything even more. You have more of a connection to characters like Jack and John and Abigail and Dutch and even Bill Williamson and Javier, who, like, really those two don't do that much in this game, but the fact that you know them, it adds a lot more, right? You know these characters from what they will go on to do. And here they are, just more and more questions, right? They're going everywhere. I think they're in Rhodes. Just questioning everyone and trying to track down John. But yeah, I'll stand by my comment that I believe I mentioned at the end of Chapter 6, but especially so after re-experiencing this epilogue. Like, this is the best prequel ever. Like, any medium, movie, book, comic, whatever. This is the best prequel I've ever experienced in my life. For that reason I just explained, which is it works amazingly as a standalone story. But if you know what's to come, it's even better, or there's added meaning to a lot of these things, right? Obviously this post-credits being the biggest thing, but building that house, all that epilogue with Beecher's Hope, like it's cute, and it works just as a way to say, like, hey, this character's growing up, how nice. But if you have played Red Dead Redemption 1, you have such a stronger connection to John Marston and all those characters, and that location, Beecher's Hope, that like the house building mission it tugs at your heart a little bit, you know, as silly as it is. But like, I try to imagine like the Star Wars prequels, for instance. Those are bad movies, bad stories, but I can't even imagine how much worse they would be if you didn't watch like the original trilogy, you know? Like, if you don't know the story of Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader or any of those characters, like, you really cannot care less about the prequels, or Obi-Wan Kenobi. You'd be like, who are these assholes? Like, I don't care about any of them, right? So as standalone movies, those prequels fail spectacularly. And even with the knowledge of the original trilogy, they're still pretty bad, even though there's some fan service here and there. Like, there's obviously fan service in Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's not like a crazy amount, you know? It's all logical, it's all done well, and again, even if you don't play Red Dead Redemption 1, a lot of the fan service moments, like when he suits up with the original cowboy outfit from the first game, like, that makes sense even if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 1. Even though it's not quite the same meaning and not quite as deep, it still makes sense. As we see Sadie there leaving also forever, clearly. She's just gone, never to be seen again, sadly. But yeah, like, this game does fan service well, it does foreshadowing well, there's a lot of little winks and nods here and there, but they don't hit you over the head with it. I think so many prequels fall into that trap, right? Because it's so tempting, and it's so easy to just feel like, fan service thing, here's another one, oh yeah, fan service. Fans of the original story will know what this means, and like, they just do it so much. But Rockstar, I think, here really tries to put in like double meaning with everything, right? So like, if you've played the original game, great, you're gonna know what some of these references mean. If you haven't, it still means something to you if you're just playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time. And again, I think, you know, some of you might be watching this going, come on, everyone's played Red Dead Redemption 1, are you crazy? But you gotta think about it. A lot of people have probably just started playing games this generation. You have to understand, there's always kids growing up, right? If you were like 10 at the beginning of this generation, you're like 17 by the end, right? Red Dead Redemption 1 came out in what, 2010? And it's now 9 years later. This game came out 8 years after. Like, there's obviously new players coming in through that. I'm sure many new players started gaming or even got serious about gaming through GTA 5, right? Like, GTA 5 is one of the biggest games out there. So when I'm sure when the GTA 5 fan base heard that, hey, Rockstar's making a new game, they're going, oh man, I'm in there. Oh, it's about cowboys? Oh, that's weird. But it was like their first exposure to it, right? And Red Dead Redemption 2 is their first exposure to the brand, the Red Dead Redemption brand. But hold on. This moment. This is your heart breaking in real time. Arthur's grave, and Mary goes to visit the grave. Damn. Yeah, that hits you. You could go visit that grave now as John. But yeah, as I was saying, there's definitely a lot of new players, I think, coming into this game, not having played the first one, You know, it's hard to play. You got to go through backwards compatibility stuff on Xbox. It's not on PC. There was no remastered version of Red Dead Redemption 1. If you're a PS4 player, there's really no way to play that first game unless you find a PS3 somewhere used or something, you know? So Red Dead Redemption 1 isn't even the most accessible game ever. So sure, there's tons of players playing this game before Red Dead Redemption 1. And I think those players are in good hands, you know? This is not a game that says, you must play the first one if you want to understand everything. You will fully enjoy this game from just playing this one alone and not experiencing Red Dead Redemption 1. But now, following up on that scene there with the grave, I want to say, when did Rockstar grow up? Okay? I think that's a whole different video that I could do. But Rockstar, ever since GTA 3, when I really started getting into their games, they've always been very, very satirical. They've been very silly. You know, they have a lot of comedy. They have a lot of... They're... Oh man, I keep being interrupted, but this is too important. So this is it. This is another thing that kind of rips your heart out. They find him. Edgar Ross tracks him down. They track down John. They see his son. They know where he is. And basically they walk away right there thinking, we're gonna get that son of a bitch. And that's Red Dead Redemption 1, right? They kidnap Jack, they kidnap Abigail, and that's it. So by killing Micah, they trace his steps and track him down, and that's the death of John Marston. Bittersweet ass credits, man. But yeah, as I was saying about Rockstar, the writing in the GTA games reminds me a lot of like South Park, right? It's very smart, and a lot of the stuff in there is very good, and it's hilarious, and it's a total teardown of like pop culture and like American culture specifically, and it's always super well done. But it's also like South Park, it's also silly, right? It doesn't, I don't think it hits like poop jokes like South Park does, but it's just, there's some immature stuff in there, and it's very, you know, kiddie's the wrong word because these are M-rated games, but it's, you know, it's immature at times, you know, it's juvenile, that's the word. And then this game happens, and you're like, holy crap, this is like a masterpiece. This is like Oscar-worthy writing. This is like so mature. This is so classy, right? You cannot do that scene there with Mary at the grave, at Arthur's grave, and make it hit you. You cannot do Arthur's death at the end of chapter 6. You cannot do that American Venom moment in Vice City or San Andreas, you know? They've matured so much, I think, and this, I think, was the Housers and the rest of the team really flexing their muscles and going like, let's tell a real ass Western story. Like even Red Dead Redemption 1, which is, you know, far more mature than the GTA games from like a storytelling perspective and like a world and character perspective. Even that game compared to this is not quite at this level. Like this is a level of like maturity and like great writing and like serious characters and stuff that no Rockstar game has touched since. And honestly, it makes me really excited to see what GTA 6 has in store. Because as much as I love GTA 5, it's one of my favorite games ever, the story is very much based on like Heat and heist movies and stuff like that. And that's fine, you know, there's plenty of mobster movies, you know, where GTA clearly, you know, is inspired from, that come off as very mature and have won Oscars and all that. But you still have someone like Trevor, where you're like, damn, like this is just a little, you know, he goes a little far. It's almost cartoonish how far Trevor will go with his just crazy violent tendencies and shit, you know, and all the hillbillies and stuff, and they make it very comedic. I think a lot of Trevor's stuff in GTA 5 is just a little too comedic compared to this. This is just classy, well written, well done, Oscar worthy. And I know that's like a meme. Oh, this is like the, you know, the Citizen Kane of video games, blah blah blah. But like this really is classy. And on this replay, I'm seeing it, and it's like, damn, like this was a serious story. They set out to tell this kind of a tragedy, right? Arthur Morgan, the tragedy of Arthur Morgan, the downfall of Dutch van der Linde, right? It's very like, kind of like Shakespearean almost. And then the rise of John Marston, right? And it's just, it's perfect. It's perfect. I mean, that's my ultimate conclusion. There's Rains Fall, poor guy. He's gone through some stuff. But yeah, it makes me very, very excited for GTA 6 because I think the storytelling in that game is going to be so on point. It's going to be like, if they take what they've learned from this game and integrate it into that world, and I still want the comedy out of GTA, don't get me wrong, I think you still need to be funny and tear down pop culture and tear down society and all that stuff. That's important, and that's the identity of GTA, and I wouldn't want something as serious as Red Dead in GTA. But I do think every game, to me... Damn, so Dutch van der Linde actually gets the top of the cast there. And then Arthur Morgan, Roger Clark, number 2. That's interesting. But I am very interested to see what they take from this game and how they apply it to GTA 6. Because that's going to be something special. Very special. And as we look at all the voice acting here, I'll just say, you know, it's obvious. Anyone who's played this game knows this, but this might be the best voice acting I've ever heard in a video game, period. I mean, Rockstar just gets performances out of these super talented actors unlike any other game out there. Like AAA games I'm talking about, of course, where you'd think the voice acting would be on point by this time. But then you play a Rockstar game, and GTA 5's like this too, and Red Dead Redemption 1 is like this too, and even the PS2 games were like this. They get performances out of their voice actors, and it's unbelievable. It's so lifelike. And now with all the performance capture, it just gets even better and better. But man, is the voice acting just awesome in these games, and they nail it. And all the voice actors, I've watched so many behind the scenes videos of all the voice actors since this game came out, and they all seem so likable, and all their voices are real, by the way. Dutch's voice actor sounds like Dutch naturally. He's not pretending. He's not a voice actor. He's just talking. That's how he sounds. And Sadie's voice actor, same way. She's awesome, and that's her voice. And Arthur, of course. Arthur's voice, and John Marston as well. They all talk like that, and they have awesome voices. So when you see it coming out of a real person's mouth, you're like, damn. I would just talk to myself all day if I had a voice that great. Like, that's awesome. So, voice actors, God bless you. You did an unbelievable job with this game, you know? And I'll say, this is a near perfect game, in my opinion, as we wrap it up here. I think this was a 10 out of 10 before the epilogue. And I do not give 10 out of 10s for just anything, okay? In my mind, I'd probably have, out of my entire life of playing games, over 20 years, I probably have maybe 10 or 15 games that I've ever played out of thousands that I'd rate 10 out of 10 perfect. Like, to me, a 10 out of 10 is like a super, super high bar. And I thought for a long while that only games that I played as a kid that like formed me, like my formative years as a gamer, you know, I thought those were the only games even capable of hitting that 10 out of 10 bar, right? For a while. And then a game like this comes along where it's like I sit back and I'm trying to find faults and I can't do it, you know? This game's a 10 out of 10. I'm coming out of that chapter 6 going, this game's a 10 out of 10. Holy shit, they did it, Rockstar. My unbelievably high expectations have been surpassed. And then they pump out that epilogue, which any other developer, that's your DLC, right? Obviously. That might even be another game. You might say that for the sequel, right? Put a game between Red Dead Redemption 2 and 1. Why not? It'll sell, right? But no, they're like, nah, we gotta put more. And I wouldn't say like, oh, it's an 11 out of 10 or anything crazy like that, but you're looking at a 10 out of 10 game, and then that epilogue, and American Venom, and what an ending, and you build a house, and it's just like, man. From top to bottom, I have trouble finding issues with this game. And it's one awesome thing after another, and having replayed it, I could just confirm that, yes, this game is a masterpiece. Yes, this game is so great. My God. They go above and beyond so many times. Just when you think they can't go any further beyond, they do. And it just blows my mind. So this is basically, in my mind, a perfect game. I mean, I don't think I'd be playing it as consistently as I have for a year if it wasn't near perfect, you know? And putting out YouTube videos like I have if it wasn't near perfect. This is an unbelievable game. And I look forward to replaying it again on PC. And I guess I should actually also give some thoughts on the first-person HUD-less perspective, I guess, because that is kind of what this video series has been. I wanted to get a slightly different experience, you know, instead of just the traditional third-person, you know, HUD on, whatever. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was really, really fun, and I recommend it to anyone watching this who's thinking about it. It is a fun replay. I would not recommend your first time through playing it first-person HUD-less, because I do think there's a couple of things that don't quite work right. I think you lose a little bit. There's some cinematic moments I noticed where the camera being zoomed in like that kind of hurts what they're trying to get across. So I would recommend only playing first-person HUD-less on replay. But having done it, in some ways I appreciate the art even more, because you're getting a closer look at certain things and you appreciate some of the attention to detail even more in first person. Obviously without things cluttering the screen, like HUD cluttering the screen, you're going to appreciate certain things more, you know? You're looking at that world harder than ever before. There's no mini-map you're constantly distracted by. The difficulty's higher, for sure. You know, no HUD and first person just in general. Again, you don't have that like peripheral vision that you get with third person. But yeah, I would recommend it. I would say if you're thinking of replaying the game, maybe on the PC, right? With the new PC version having just released, I would say give it a shot. Because it's different. It's different but good different, right? There's a asterisk there. It's a good different. It's not a bad different. And you don't want bad different, but it feels different from third person, but in a good way. And of course, just a replay, just generally speaking, I think it was fantastic. Knowing what's coming, you appreciate little things even more, you know? Like, obviously, to me, the big moment that obviously stands out is when Arthur goes to the Downs farm there and gets coughed all over his face, and that's how he gets the tuberculosis. Obviously, in my first playthrough, I had no idea. But knowing that that's how he gets the tuberculosis, you know, that's just one of many things you notice on a replay that changes the whole narrative structure, and just you're knowing certain things earlier and you're anticipating certain things. And you know, oftentimes when you obviously have played something or watched a movie before and you know what's going to happen, that can make it boring, right? Because it's like, I'm not being surprised anymore, and it's certain things have been spoiled now, so it's just less exciting and less spontaneous. But I don't think that's the case here. I think while some of those surprises are obviously gone and some of the stuff may not hit you as hard emotionally since you know it's coming, by knowing what's coming, it's a whole different experience in a good way. You appreciate things more. You see the foreshadowing. You notice lines of dialogue where you're going, oh, they're you know, setting up certain things here. They're planting the seeds for what is to come, and that's really awesome. And you see that time and time again because they're just so good at that. And this whole story is just so tight and so well told that this is definitely a game like in my mind, like a GTA 5, where I'm just gonna be I'm gonna play it like over and over, many times. Like, I am watching the credits roll, and I'm ready for another playthrough. Believe it or not, I'm ready to replay this in 60 frames per second on PC. You know, because it's that type of game where it's long enough that you know, now I want to play as Arthur again. Now I want to re-experience this again, and now I want to play some post-game stuff again. So yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I've pretty much gone over everything in my notes, and I think these credits are just wrapping up here, as they're, oh my god, they even have to go over all the stuff they licensed, and these are some long credits, but this is the most expensive video game ever made, so what do you expect, right? And of course, there's a lot more as we return back to the game.
Since you bought this millstone around our necks, we better try and keep this place going.
I paid our debts with that money. I
don't want to talk about that money. And no more of that.
It's over.
Nice face.
I'm sure. Then get to work on this ranch you own and raising your boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you being sarcastic, John Marston?
Me? Never.
Good.
Anyway, I thought you liked this place.
No, John, I don't like it. I love it. It's home.
Now, unfortunately, it's not over. And believe it or not, see this hill we're on right now? Right here, overseeing the barn there? This spot is literally where John and Abigail are buried at the end of Red Dead Redemption 1. So there's another thing where if you have not played the first game, you miss that. But yes, this is Rockstar playing a cruel joke on the player. Playing all those credits and then setting them right here where they will eventually die and be buried. So, bittersweet. Very bittersweet if you know what's to come in Red Dead Redemption 1. But that is gonna do it. We now have $20,000, I think. Yeah. At the end there, we grabbed about $20,000. And we can now do all of the side stuff on the map. And of course, there's tons of it. And we could explore New Austin. We could explore the rest of the world. So, even though the story's over, of course, there's so much more to do in this game. We've only just scratched the surface, really. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up. That is the end of my first-person HUD-less Red Dead Redemption 2 walkthrough. Damn near 90 parts, 90 videos, and we finally reached the end. I want to thank you all so much for sticking with me. If you've watched every single one, you're crazy, but you're awesome, and I love you. This was a lot of fun. My first super long video series like this, you know, with the camera on and recording constantly. I loved every minute of it. This game is a masterpiece, as I just went through in great detail. So it was fun. It was awesome. And there's so much more to come. The PC version just released. We got mods. We got updates to Red Dead Online coming. There's so much more. So this is the end of this video series. But of course, there's so much more to come here on the channel. So if you liked this video series and want to see more Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online and eventually Grand Theft Auto 6 content, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I think I'm gonna get on my horse here and Might as well 100% this game file now, right? Can't stop here. And yeah, that's gonna do it. Thanks again so much, everybody. The main story may have come to an end, but the full Red Dead Redemption 2 experience is far from over. Now it's time to explore that post-game, find collectibles, hunt some legendary animals, unlock some cool outfits, and so much more. Check out my various guides here on the channel if you haven't already hit 100% completion. And even if you have, between the all-new PC port and the ongoing updates coming to Red Dead Online, there's always something new springing up in the world of Red Dead Redemption 2. To all of you who have watched and enjoyed these videos, thank you so much for joining me for this crazy 89 video journey. Hit that like and subscribe button for much more awesome Red Dead Redemption 2 content coming in the near future. And as always, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and take care.